what do you do with just the lazy people that don't want to work? They want to sit back, relax, spend time on their phone.
What we got to stop and think about is what's good for that person. Okay. What's good for that person is to discover the incredible dignity that having an empowered life where I go leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home. The thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the metaphorical kill. They have a listless. The chemicals in their body are not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're not active, they're not engaged. So what they're doing is not good for them. It feels good to eat too much chocolate cake when you're eating it, but it doesn't end up well for you. And so what's really good for that person? How can we love that person well? And is the way I look at that. And so if that was my son or my daughter, what would I do if I'm a loving father, not a harsh father, not a mean father, but someone who really wants what's best for them? What's best for them is that they engage something, that they get the dignity of hard work, of getting a mental or a physical callus, that they actually get the feeling that we have all had by accomplishing some things, and you don't get that sitting on your couch, playing Call of Duty, and so highest depression rate ever, highest rate ever. The deaths of despair, we call them in the statistical analysis, is the highest ever in the group we're talking about, because it's really a horrible life. And so whatever we've got to do to get them to engage and build a work ethic muscle for their own good is the best thing we can do for them. And sometimes that is what, where you let someone suffer the natural consequences of their stupidity or their bad actions. I've done some stupid things in my life, and the natural consequences took me out, knocked me to my knees. And it ended up being, okay, next time you learn to duck, next time you learn to not do that thing, don't touch that hot stove. It hurts. Don't sit on your couch and have no money and be hungry. Oh, being hungry would be a good thing. That would cause you to get off your couch, And so a little desperation is really good for the soul. It's a great motivator. Now, again, I'm not trying to be harmful. It's an act of love. And people say, well, that's tough love. No, it's just real love. Real love is not leaving them alone in their mess. That doesn't help. They're not being helped. If you really love your kid, you make them brush their teeth so they have some.
Would you say there are any valid reasons for financial failure in America in 2025?
Yeah. Tragedy comes to someone. I've got 2 friends right now dying of cancer, and they're not going to make it. And if they had absolutely zero money and left behind a wife and kids or a husband and kids, you could have failure. The twist on the answer would be, is there any reason for permanent financial failure? No, there's not. Unless someone is just completely debilitated or has an extreme disability where they're unable to function. But if you're able to function in the marketplace, you can have a tragedy, and it's a temporary thing. And during that time, they can't do anything. It's very sad and very real. But is that a permanent? No, that's a snapshot, and life's a film strip. And so how many times do we hear of I talked to a lady the other day who went to jail for robbing a bank, and she was in jail for 10 years, and she lost her kids to her family services took them away. She lost everything, her reputation, her confidence, her looks, everything. She comes out of jail. Now, can she start from below ground zero, subterranean, and still at 32 years old or 34 years old, still go make a life? Absolutely she can. But her biggest problem is like a buddy of mine who grew up in a really low income area. He said, getting out of the hood is not as hard as getting the hood out of your head. So her biggest problem is overcoming her mindset and believing and having hope again and seeing a system that she could use from you guys or me that she could use to actually go and, okay, I can go get this job, and then I could do that, and then I could take this class, and then I could do this, and I have a career path, and then I could start saving and investing. And, mathematically, can someone starting from nothing and no reputation that's a convicted felon become prosperous over 30 years in America? Absolutely. But they got to believe they can, and they got to see the system and have access and that. But if you don't, if you can't get out of your own head, then no, you ain't got a chance.
How do you help people get out of their own head and believe in the system?
You got to show them a system that they believe. It's called hope. The Bible says hope deferred, in other words, hopelessness, makes the heart sick. It's a sickness of heart. But when desire comes, it is the tree of life. And you guys have heard it and seen it on our show and on yours. Someone calls here and they say, well, this is my situation. This, and I think I'm bankrupt. And I'm like, no, you're not bankrupt. If you sold that and you did that and you moved that over there and you quit trying to hold on to that, you're not only not bankrupt, you're going to actually come out of this with a positive net worth. And then you go from there. And they go, you can hear the light bulbs going off on their head, right? And because it changes their perspective, because they were in the middle of the forest and couldn't see the trees. So it wasn't math. It wasn't the systemic problems with the economy that were keeping them down. It wasn't wealth inequality that was keeping them down. It wasn't all that bull crap. It was they couldn't see their way because they were so deep in the forest. And all we did is take a chainsaw to the sucker, and go, okay, guys, here's what you do. You do this. Because we're on the outside. We're not emotionally in their headspace. I don't have their depression. I don't have their blues. I don't have their dysfunctional daddy in my head, or whatever the crap is going on, right? But if I go, okay, if you do this, and they go, yeah, that would work. And you start to hear them, and they're the ones that are going to do it. You can hear the ones that aren't going to do it too, right? But they go, wow, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. And you mean, yeah, I'd have to get rid of that, but I hate that. I wouldn't want to sell that, but I would to get free, to be free and to be able to start again. And that energy, you feel the energy coming right back up. But that's headspace. That's not math problems, and it's not systemic problems with the economy, and it's not house prices versus affordability indexes or any of that crap. It's belief.
How do you feel when you could tell someone's not going to follow your advice?
Like they just took up the time on the air that we could have used for somebody who was going to. And so I end up going, you're on hold, and you're gone. I will argue with you about 3 times. And about the 3rd time you come back at me and like, I'm wasting my time. You called me up to get me to endorse your stupidity, and that's the wrong idea. I'm here to help you get a path, see a plan, see a way of going. And if you can't see that, then I'll move on to somebody else. It's like, like lady had, not long ago, had an Escalade, and she owed like $85,000 on this stupid Escalade, and she's like, I can't do this and this. And I'm like, lady, you're broke. You need to sell the Escalade. Well, that's a non-starter. I'm not doing that. And that was the 4th time I'd gone at that thing. And I just went, move on. I can't help her. She didn't really want to be helped. She wants a magic wand, and we don't have fairy dust here. We have calculators.
If you've ever been denied a car loan, credit card, or even an apartment because of what's on your credit report, you are not alone. Most people don't even know what's hurting their credit score, let alone how to fix it. That is exactly where our sponsor DisputeBeast comes in. It's an AI-powered platform that helps you find and remove outdated or inaccurate items from your credit report fast.
We're talking things like late payments, old accounts and collections, or even accounts that don't belong to you. Not to mention, how it works is super easy. You connect your credit report, and DisputeBeast scans it for negative marks that could be dragging down your score. Then it generates custom dispute letters tailored for your situation. No templates and no guesswork.
You could choose to just download the data and send it to the agencies yourself, or you can use their built-in mail service where they will literally handle everything for you.
It's honestly just really clean and simple to use, and it's built by experts.
So if you're ready to take back control of your credit, go to disputebeast.com/ICH today. There's also a link down below in the description, disputebeast.com/ICH. Guys, they will literally handle everything for you. If you're dissatisfied with your credit, they will do all of the research, let you know what's going wrong, and they will fight for you. disputebeast.com/ICH. Thank you so much to DisputeBeast for sponsoring this clip.